All right, I'm gonna attempt to fix this tachometer on camera to hopefully help somebody out. And you can watch me fumble around and fuck up several times because I'm sure it's gonna happen. And all right, step one, this motherfucker, which usually is a big pain in the ass. I find that calling it a cocksucker a few times makes it a little easier. So let's do a little preemptive cocksucker. See if it helps. Cocksucker. I tried doing it with my hands first, and then if you can't do that, you can put like a microfiber cloth here and pry on it gently. Otherwise, you're gonna fuck this right up. Oh, nice. All right. That went way better than I thought it was going to. All right, then you gotta push all these little bitches in slowly. So each one, kind of hold down the ones you already loosened up. Just go around and do that. Now's a good time to clean this because I usually get fucked up looking like hazy. As you can tell, this is not a child-friendly program because I'm incapable of not cursing. So if you clean this with Windex, you're gonna totally fuck it up. What I found that works is actually taking a really good microfiber cloth, like something you'd use to wax your car, and use polishing compound and then wax it. It actually works really well. This one looks like poopy, so I'll probably clean it later. One thing at a time. All right. There's your tachometer. Basically what mine was doing is it would work until I got like up to here. It would just start going all over the place. And after driving for like 45 minutes or so, it just eventually would stop working. If I slapped the shit out of it, it would start working again. That's why I think it's probably the capacitors, because it usually doesn't act like a twat until it gets warm, like it's been used for a while. So those caps are probably just dog shit at this point. We will find out. I should shut the fuck up. All right, so take your high quality screwdriver from Hobo Freight. You just got to remove these three. These have been out before, I think, because they are loose as shit. All right, and then this little hooer should, oh yeah, fuck, I gotta take this part off too. So yeah, you gotta do the same thing with this shroud, bezel, whatever the fuck you wanna call it. It's usually kind of a bigger pain in the ass. Now you get to watch me curse and fumble and fuck around with shit. Oh, come on, don't be a bitch. I'm sure somebody that lives in the Rom's basement in the comments is probably like, this guy's a fucking idiot. Well, you'd be right. I don't really know what I'm doing, but I just figure shit out. Son of a bitch. And now's a good time to ask your mom to bring you some cereal to the basement. I might have to cut the video, I'm not gonna cut this apart, that'd be insane. All right, I think we're getting somewhere. This is a very precise tool. It's called a flathead screwdriver. You can also use a pry bar if you want. Boy, this is making me look like a total dickhead. Oh, come on. Some of them are gonna be easier than others. Okay. You freaking whore. Oh, broke one. Well, it was inevitable. What you could do is try not to do what I just did. Try to possess some patience, which I don't have any of. Oh man, come on. All right, so we're getting there. Am I still in frame? Yes, I am. There we go. Just gonna keep your finger in here to keep it apart so it doesn't snap back together. It shouldn't, but you never know, because sometimes it's a fool. All right, there we go. There we go. Let's see. Yeah, I only cracked one. What are you gonna do? It's 30 years old. I'm gonna blame it on that and not myself. All right, so this should lift out now. Yep, it's loose. Be careful with it because it's 30 years old. Come on. Come on. You bastard. There we go. So yeah, that's how you get your tachometer out. And let's take a look. What the fuck? I thought there was two. I thought there were supposed to be two caps in these. Okay, resistors. Oh yeah. Oh wow, they're freaking tiny. Holy crap! I didn't even see it. All right, so you got. Sorry, I'm not good at this. You got that guy, that guy. They're the same value. I believe they are 25 volt, 10 UF microfarads. I got these on Amazon. They're 50 volt. It doesn't matter. As long as it's 25 or more, it'll work. And I bought Panasonic capacitors just because, I don't know, I've used Panasonic stuff in all my vintage audio. And if you're going to go through the trouble of doing this, don't use some Chinese bullshit that might be out of spec and last fucking 2 weeks. I don't know. So yeah, I could probably leave a link for these if I remember. Yeah, so boy, I didn't realize how small these little hulas are. They're going to be fun. So yeah, basically you got those two to unsolder and those two. So I'm going to try to film that, and I'm sure I'm going to... Oh, fuck. No, is it those two? Oh, God. Yeah, so you got a microprocessor there. I think that's what that is. I don't fucking know. So you look, there's a whole line of shit there. So it's gonna be those two. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna try to do that on camera and curse a lot probably. This is important to mention before I start ripping this shit apart. Capacitors have polarity. That's super important. The positive leg is usually the longest one. The negative is the shortest one. You can also just look at the side of it. There's a little negative sign. But that's important because if you put it in there backwards, it's going to explode in your face. I don't know what it'll do, but it's not good. So what I recommend is, and I'm going to do this as soon as I'm done talking too much, take a picture of it or a video, or just find some way to get the orientation like this one, the negative. I'm so bad at this, I'm sorry. The negative is facing $4,000. And then on this guy, the negative is facing $8,000. So you can remember it like that, whatever. Yeah, so now's the fun part of desoldering, which sucks to do. But really what you gotta kind of do is you just gotta really, if you look at this looks insane, but if you look at it long enough, it just starts to make sense after a while. So you can just see, like, this one's easy. This cap right here, look, sorry, this is horrible. You just gotta look at all these components and you can kind of see, like, okay, there's the solder joints for that resistor there. That's a diode, and you can see there's the solder joints for it there. So you just gotta kind of like look back and forth a bunch of times to orientate where. So like that cap is that guy and that guy. So I gotta unsolder those. That one's kind of in there a little more next to, I don't know what the fuck that thing's called. I'm gonna call it a flux capacitor. So you gotta look at the flux capacitor and you see all these legs here and solder joints. So obviously that cap is that and that. So yeah, I'm gonna go get my desoldering, my bobber, and get to work on this bitch. So this right here is called a solder sucker. I'm not making that up. That's what it's called. I've had it for so fucking long. I mean, shit. I bought it at Radio Shack. That's how long I've had it. That place doesn't exist anymore. So get yourself one of these. I'm gonna plug it in now, let it heat up. And it's important to find something metal or whatever to lean it on, like a soldering station, so you don't burn your mom's house down, comments guy. So I'm gonna let that heat up, and I'm gonna take this opportunity to apologize for how many times I say hula, because I've been binge watching The Sopranos, so I can't help myself. All right, this is nice and hot as fuck. So I hope you guys can see what I'm doing. I'm sorry if you can't, but basically you gotta, what I try to do is not burn my hand. That's step one. Squeeze the bulb, keep it squeezed, and you kind of get on here and it'll start heating that old ass solder up. This is definitely where you burn yourself because you're trying to film something. So I get it on there and I try to move it back and forth, and then you let go of the bulb and it didn't work. So it probably wasn't hot enough yet. Let me try it. I gotta ignore the video for a second. If my solder tip is loose. This usually works by now. Hang on, let me fuck with this for a second. All right. Just wanted to make sure it was hot enough. It melted this solder, so maybe I just need to let it heat up longer. So back to the task at hand, okay. Well, I might as well just sit there a minute. There we go. So now I got the solder melted, I'm wiggling back and forth, and I'm gonna let go. And now that solder's gone. You can just squirt it on your fucking workbench or whatever, or on your mom's basement floor. And then I got another one here. Boy, this is hard to do while filming and trying to not sound like an idiot. All right, you can't really see, I don't think, but the cap's wiggling, so we got it loose. So let go of the bulb and put it there so you don't burn your mom's house down. Oh, geez. And should be able to, let me get some pliers here. Something like this usually comes in handy. No, these are not Snap-on, they're dog shit & Co. I don't know where the fuck I got them, probably Amazon or Harbor Freight. Now we remember the negative is facing 8,000 RPM. And here we go. Come here, you bastard. And it, you know, it might be a hula. Sometimes you gotta wiggle. Oh, there she is. And you know what? Doesn't look great, but hopefully that's what it is. We'll find out. And then when you got that out, fucking get rid of it. All right, so let me pause this and move on to step 40. I don't know where we're at. All right, I'm gonna film this so you can watch me fumble like you might. These are long as shit. Hey-oh, focus. I'm gonna try to bend them to finagle them in there. If not, you can just cut them shorter, but I kind of want to have the length just because I do. All right, so remember, negative is facing 8 grand. I'm probably gonna have to pull this away from the camera for a second. Oh, you freaking hole. All right, yeah, so just, whoa, hey now. Wiggle this little bitch in there, and because I bent it like that, I'm probably gonna have to bend it back. Pull it through. Son of a bitch, this is really hard to try to show you. Sorry, I'm not good at this. It's literally the first time I've ever done anything like this in my life, video-wise. But, so yeah, you want it pretty close to the board, but not necessarily. You wanna make sure that those don't hit each other. So I'm gonna take these pliers and pull the legs through and try to film it at the same time, which is proven to be harder than I thought. And the reason, there you go. The reason I want these legs kind of, well, the reason I want the legs long is because you can take them and bend them to keep the cap in place for when you solder it. So yeah, I'm just gonna bend the shit out of them like that. And then that keeps it in place for me to solder. And then you cut the excess off once you have it soldered. So yeah, that doesn't look like the neatest thing. Doesn't look as good as the Japanese guy that did it originally, but I'm a professional drummer, not a professional solderer. So, or repair technician. Anyways, I'm gonna heat my solder iron up and solder this little cocksucker. Another important tip that I wanted to make is the tip here is pretty important. For something small like this, I don't know, I prefer having this really fine kind of point. And my soldering thing is some cheap bullshit I got off Amazon, but I've built 2 amplifiers with it and fixed a bunch of ECUs, and it works. I don't know, it's the Xtronic 3060 Pro, whatever the fuck that is. But it works pretty good for doing this kind of stuff. Hey, now. So, I don't know if they still make it. I can leave a link for it. But yeah, I'm gonna turn this on. It's like 650 degrees. You kind of got to mess around with it to see what works the best. You don't want it too cold, you don't want it too hot. But also, I'm gonna wet this sponge so I have a place to clean my tip. That's what he said. All right, nice thing about this soldering station is that it heats up very quickly. When you're soldering, it's important to keep your tip clean because you don't want to get a UTI. So what you got to do is, some of them just have a sponge. Some of them have this copper mess in here. It has both. I don't know. So I kind of just want to keep it looking clean. And here we go. I don't know if this, Jesus, my camera moved. Jesus Christ. Oh, come on. All right, here we go. I hope you can see this. So let it sit there for a second to let the solder pad heat up in the leg. Sometimes it helps to put a little solder on the tip too. You can see that. It's so weird talking to people that aren't actually here. I feel like I'm fucking schizophrenic. And basically, once you see the solder flow onto the solder pad, come on. Sometimes it's a bitch, sometimes your temperature's not high enough, and I think that's the case. So I don't think the temperature setting on this is accurate at all, because I usually just gotta turn it all the way up, which is not normal, but there we go. Hopefully you can see that. If you can't, use your imagination. All right, there we go. Okay, so now this is cooled down. We can take these legs, bend them up like that to cut them off. Also, I know this doesn't look great, but if you can see a little solder, you can, it's impossible. Basically, take the capacitor, bend it back like that and forth. It's not moving, the legs aren't moving, so you're good. And there goes my roommate. All right, so where the fuck did I put my, boy, this is really professional. All right. I don't know what these things are called. I call them nippers, because that sounds funny. But essentially, they're these things. They help you get cut really. Jesus, I just realized how shitty and old these look. So we're gonna try to cut these legs off. Like so. That doesn't look brilliant, but it's not touching that. Hey now, it's not touching that, it's not touching anything else. I'll probably cut it down closer once I get off camera here, but yeah. Those aren't touching each other. It's not going anywhere. It's soldered and secure. I try to show this on camera. I don't know how well it's gonna pick up, but that looks like shit. That's the one I removed. Doesn't look like it's in good health anymore. So I'm hoping that was my issue. It probably was. But I'm still gonna replace the other one because why would you not? All right, time to remove the other one. All right, I think you can see that, hopefully. Remember, squeeze the bulb and make sure you're on the right things, which I think I am. I quadruple checked. Let it sit there until you can actually feel like you're moving the leg around, or until you can see the solder melt. Yeah, I haven't used this in a while. I forgot. It does kind of take a while to heat up, so I might have to cut and come back. Yeah, it's not melting yet. I'm gonna give it a couple more seconds and try it again. Yeah, it's getting there. There we go. I can move the leg around now. Let the bulb go. Get the solder out of there. There we go. All right, let's see if we can move the cap itself. Yep. See it kind of wiggling out of there. Remember, negative facing 4000. Yeah, you bastard. Let's see if we can. Hey, how about you zoom or focus, you freaking bitch? Well, it doesn't want to focus. Whatever. I'm just gonna look at it myself. It's probably hot, so be careful. Yeah, this looks fine actually. Yeah, it's actually all right. The other one was like all warped and funky looking, but whatever. It's fucking out of here. All right, I'm gonna let you watch me struggle with this on camera because it might be funny, and it might happen to you too. Sorry, I'm trying to like watch this through the camera and it's like, fuck that, I'm not doing that. So I bent them so I could finagle them into here. There we go. I don't know if you can, hopefully you can see that. Then once you get them through, you can kind of bend them into position. And then, remember, bend it however the fuck you gotta do. It is wise to try to bend them away from other solder joints because you don't want the solder to accidentally flow into one of those, because then you gotta desolder it again. Who the fuck wants to do that? Nobody. And okay, if you're OCD as fuck like me, you can go negative $4 grand a couple times to make sure you know you got your shit right. All right, gonna let the soldering iron heat up and get the solder in. I can't speak English. Soldering iron is heating up. Also, I want to say, I don't know what size. Basically, when it comes to soldering circuit boards, I don't like using this thicker stuff. I use this usually for wires. This really thin stuff, I don't know the size. There we go. Hey-o, dropping stuff. That's what I use. I use this to build 2 amplifiers, and I use them all the time, and they've been working for years, so I trust it. This is, I don't know what the hell this is. I just had it laying around, but you know what? I'm gonna use this super duper thin stuff just to show you. I don't know. It works good for doing stuff like this. I know this is off camera, but I'm, again, cleaning my tips so I don't get a UTI. And here we go. This is really annoying with this fucking iPhone in the way, but I don't know. Hopefully this helps somebody. Maybe it does. You know what? I want to get another light here. I'm trying not to fucking burn myself. Hey, stop being a whore. Okay. Oh, this is very difficult to do while trying to film. Actually, you know what? This shit's too thin. This is actually better. So yeah. You kind of, there's little soldering pads there. You kind of want to try to put the point there and the leg of the capacitor, heat them up, and then once they're hot enough, the solder will flow. Come on. There we go. This is still showing up? Okay. Okay, so clean your tip before you put it back. It's probably hot, but okay, so yeah, I'm trying to wiggle it, see how those legs aren't moving. And you probably can't see it on camera, but yeah, I don't know. That looks good. I don't really know how to say it any other way, but now we're gonna bend these up. Also, you wanna make sure you didn't have any solder flow into any other solder joints. And I didn't, so I'm gonna take, hey, step. All right, fuck you, light. I'm gonna take my nippers that look like they're made in the pre-war War II, but hey, they still work. I have no idea where I got them. Probably Harbor Freight. All right, I'm gonna cut those a little shorter off camera where I can actually see what I'm doing, but it doesn't matter. As long they can't actually hit anything, so they're fine, but it just looks nice and neat when you cut them a little shorter. But that's it, just those two caps. And I have another cluster laying around here that I'm just gonna redo the tack on that as well, since the parts for these cars are $1 million now for everything. So it'd be good to have an extra one. So yeah, I will put this in my car later and hopefully it works, and hopefully it was the tack and not yet another PTU. So yeah, I guess I'll show you guys how I put it back together, even though it's just reversing the steps, but whatever, maybe it's helpful. I don't know. All right, I'm actually not gonna put this all the way back together yet. I'm gonna put the tack back in and screw it in and stuff. I don't wanna put it all back together until I've tested it in the car. So just lay this in here like so. There's little posts here it kind of lines up with. I'm gonna get those screws back in. So I'm gonna hold that with my thumb. Get these finger tightened at least, just to hold it in place. And now that I just said that, I realize I probably got fingerprints all over the tack, so I'm gonna clean that because I'm OCD as fuck. And I will see that all the time while I'm driving, and it'll drive me insane. All right, so let's just get those tightened up. You don't want to go too tight because this is 30 years old and it's made of plastic. That's why I use hand tools, and that's why Aldon and Sean make fun of me for it, but these are old, delicate fucking cars. Oh, look at the thumbprint. Anyways, I'm gonna clean that. And then I'm just gonna put it in my car like this and make sure it's working. And we'll see how that goes. I may or may not film it, I don't know, because I have another tack to do now. All right, well. Yeah, that's good. It would have went ape shit by now. All right, I think we're good. Sweet. All right, so to put everything back together, it's pretty self-explanatory. These only go a certain way. And once you get them all lined up, remember, be gentle. Don't break it like I did. There we go. So that's good. I just aired this out, but I'm the world's most anal human being, so. And then I'm not gonna put this in because I want to clean it, but yeah, you just line that up just like I did with the other thing, and push all the pins into place, and then remember this cocksucker, it's really easy. You just kind of push it in. Maybe I'll put that on the end of the video once I clean this. As you can see, it looks kind of like poopy, so I'm gonna clean it. Figure I'll show you guys this. I'm not gonna polish it because I've already done it a bunch of times, so I have this stuff that I use on my window tint. It's pretty, works good, doesn't scratch the shit out of anything, so spray this up a little bit. And I have these extremely soft microfiber towels that I can't speak English, that I got from, I don't know, Advanced Auto or something like that, I think. And that's it. I'll clean the other side the same way. But when they get really scratched up like this, you can, I think I used Meguiar's rubbing compound, and then I used polishing compound, and then I used wax. Just like you would clean up old paint, and it worked really well. It was the only thing I've ever seen that actually made these not hazy and scratched up. So that's it. Oh God, you can see my reflection and the fact that I'm shirtless because it's Florida and it's hot. But whatever, I'm leaving it in there. All right, whatever. Might as well finish this because it's on the workbench still. So yeah, just line all these little guys up. Listen that into place. That's it. One more thing, I'm gonna clean the outside of this. Just a little bit, because I just did, but I'm sure anyone that knows me that's watching this is laughing at how fucking anal I am. But I like keeping old cars looking new. And I mean, you know, you look at gauges a lot. Who the fuck wants to look at scratches and ugly bullshit? All right, so that's probably good. And our old friend, the cocksucker. So yeah, you just, there's gears in there you just gotta line it up with. It's kind of, I think there is. It could be just making up words. Okay, not gears, but there's a little like indentation that it goes into. And then you just go like this. That's it. Now, I can put this in my car and hopefully not think about it for another 20 or 30 years until something else breaks, because Mitsubishi. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed this program.